that is dimensions or the components of business environment. As we have seen in the first slide, okay, that was part of business environment. These all forces are the part of business environment, means these are the changes. There can be economic forces, social forces, political forces, technological forces, legal and the other forces. These are the changes. Okay, so we will study all these points in the detail. Now let us begin. See, dimensions. As you know that there were 5 dimensions. Okay, let us start with number 1, that is social environment. Okay, social environment. The social environment of business includes the social forces like customs and traditions, values, social trends, society's expectations from business, etc. See, social environment means what are social environment is generally related to the society. Okay, social environment. Now what are the changes which generally happens in the social environment also has impact on the business houses. So what kind of changes it includes? See, change in customs and traditions. Okay, it depends upon the like values of the people. What are the social trends? What are the society's expectations? Means what are the expectations of the customers from business? Okay, these all things matters. Okay, and these are the things which actually puts an impact on the working of the business. Means the business house has to take care about the needs of the society. Means they have to study their customs, they have to study their traditions, they have to understand what are the beliefs of the people, what are the values of the society, and what is actually the trend of the society, what the society expects from them. Okay, so depending upon all these things, all these factors, they have to work accordingly. Okay, as we know that the business house exists in society, so it is very much necessary that he should be benefiting the society in some way. Okay, now see, for example, you can see festival like Diwali, Eid, Christmas, etc. lead to increase in demand for greeting cards, sweet gifts, etc. etc. Right? If during the festival time, during Diwali, Eid, Christmas, etc., there is increase in demand of the greeting cards, sweets, gifts. Okay, and during those festival, the people demand more gifts, the people demand more greeting cards. So in that situation, the business houses also does what? The business houses also start selling greeting cards during those festivals. Sweets are made by those the business sweets are made by the business houses, gifts are made. So these are some specific time during which the demands get increased, and due to the demand of the customers only, the business house has to produce all those things. So this is what social environment is. Okay, social environment means the social environment means generally your environment which is related to the society, and according to the changes in the society, the business houses also have to make the changes, and accordingly they have to work. For example, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan introduced for welfare of the society. Okay, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was introduced for the welfare of the society, for the development of the society. So these are the some examples for the social environment. Social environment means whatever the changes which comes in the society, or which comes in the like demand or the preference of the consumer, the business has to generally see through all those demands and see through all the expectations of the society, and they have to work accordingly, because social environment has great impact on the business. Coming to the next environment, that is technological environment. We have studied about social environment. Social environment is related to the society. Technological environment are generally related to the technology. Technological environment include forces relating to scientific improvements and innovation, which provide new ways of producing goods and services, new methods and techniques of operating business. Means, see, there are many changes which comes in technology, and the business has to adopt all those changes. Okay, because it has direct impact on the business. Because if we will, like, generally when the technology gets updated, okay, the method of production also changes. Okay, there are new method and techniques of operating business, there are new ways of producing the business. So these are also the changes which the business has to take care. For example, see what all developments are there. Example, payments through e-wallets, Paytm, etc. In the early period, like in early period when the technology was not so advanced, there was no system of e-wallets or Paytms, etc. But as the technologies are improving, so business houses are adopting all these method. Okay, they have established all these technological advanced system, e-wallets, Paytm app. Okay, so that it will so that the customer will get benefited with the advanced technology. So according to the changing technology, the business houses also have to change their business policies or the planning. Okay, cable TV adversely affect radio industry. As there was development in the TV, so it actually affected the radio industry. Then the radio industry fall actually started to fall down. Now, introduction of artificial intelligence like Siri in iPhones. Okay, artificial intelligence system like Siri, all of you know about the Siri in iPhones. So all these are the technological advancement, and when this technology are upgrading, then the business houses also have to adopt all these changes, right? Now, coming to the third environment, that is economic environment. Economic environment means what? Economic environment are the environment which are related to the economic. Okay, your economic environment refers to, see, generally refers to all those forces and all those factors which directly influence the economy of the country. Okay, for example, see, let us see the explanation first. See, the interest rate, inflation rates, change in income of the people, stock market, and the value of rupee are some of the economic factors that can affect management practice in a business enterprise. Let us understand these with the help of the examples. See, decline in tax rates raise the disposable income of people, leading to the increase in demand for products. Okay, decline in tax rate. If the tax rates are reducing, okay, sorry, decline in the tax rate raises, correct? If the tax rates are reducing, if the tax rates are falling, it means that the people will be having sufficient money in hand. Okay, so they will be able to spend the money, dispose the money. Disposable income means the income which they spend on the generally the income which they usually spend. Okay, so if the tax rates are low, okay, economic environment means tax rate, these are the economic thing. Okay, so if the tax rate are low, then the income, disposable income of the people will be high, and leading to that, what happens, if they will have sufficient income, then definitely they will demand more product. Okay, their product will, like, demand or their preferences will keep on increasing because they have sufficient amount of income to spend on the product. So according to the economic environment also, the business houses or the products of the business, the demands of the particular products of the business keeps on increasing. For example, see, next point is rise in inflation increases the cost of raw material. If there is inflation in the market, okay, when the price rises, okay, then the generally the cost of the materials or machine, etc., also rises. This also affect the business houses. If the economical price, if the inflation price in the economy, if there is rise in the inflation, okay, if the price gets increased in the economy, then definitely the business house will also get affected by all this thing. Because of the inflation, the materials becomes costly, the raw materials become costly, the machine, the payment of the wages, it will be difficult for them to do all this thing. Next is change in economic policy have encouraged NRIs and foreign investors to invest in India. As the policies are changing, as the economic policies are changing, many policies are changing so that we can develop our economy. In that condition, what happens, many NRIs, okay, who are actually the many NRIs and foreign investors to invest in India, means they are allowed to do the investment in India so that the India can also develop and the foreign currency will come to India. Okay, for supporting that, they allowed the foreign investors to invest in India in order to develop the economy of the Indian market. For it, foreign investment was very much needed. Okay, So these all are the factors of economic environment which somewhere affects the business also. So we have studied the first one, that is social environment. Okay, social environment means all the factors and the forces which are related to the society. Next is a technological environment, the four factors and the forces related to the technological advancement. And the economic environment, the factors and the forces which directly have the influence on the economy. Now coming to the next, the fourth is political environment. Now see, what do you mean by political environment? Political environment includes political conditions such as general stability and peace in the country, and specific attitudes that elected government representative holds towards business. Let us understand this with the help of example. See, Hyderabad has become the IT hub due to political support. Compensation given by government for acquiring property for building infrastructure facilities like metro construction. GST introduced and implemented in place of VAT. See, political environment means due to the political changes, okay, due to the changes which are brought by the government, the changes which are brought by the political institutions. Due to those changes, the business house also get affected. Okay, like many political institutions are there, many political parties are there, are due to like whatever the policies which are brought by those government, or due to which are brought by those political party, it put an impact on the business also. Hyderabad has become the IT hub due to political support. Because of the political support, because of the government, the Hyderabad has become the IT hub, means they are supporting towards the development of the IT hub. Okay, so because of the political support, because of the support of the government, the IT industry, the business of IT world, the IT industry, IT, and therefore the IT industry is increasing there. Now, compensation given by the government for acquiring property for building structure facilities like metro construction. See, generally the government give compensation. Okay, they give some discount for building infrastructure facilities like metro construction, whatever the government facilities, whatever the facilities which are provided by the government for the people, like okay, public welfare facilities like the metro construction, buildings, infrastructure, in all those conditions, the government gives compensation. The government compensation means some percentage of discounts or some rates, some discount rates. Okay, now GST introduced and implemented in place of VAT. Okay, they have introduced, as you all know, that goods and service tax are introduced and the VAT is removed now. So all these changes are the political changes. Okay, political environment consists of all those factors which are related to the government affairs. Okay, means such as the type of government in power, what are the attitudes of the government towards the different group in the society, what are the policies changes which are brought by the different government. So all these are the political environment. Okay, all these political changes which are brought by the government impacts on the puts a great impact on the business. So that is why it is very much necessary for the businessmen to scan this environment carefully. Okay, the businessman has to make changes in the organization according to the changing factor of political environment. Coming to the last, that is legal environment. Okay, what are the legal environment? See, generally legal environment includes various legislation passed by the government, administrative orders issued by the government authorities, court judgments, etc. Okay, now legal environment, the management or the business, okay, the management or the business has to obey the law of land. Okay, they has to obey whatever the courts make the laws for them. Okay, they have to obey those laws. Therefore it is essential for every business enterprise to have an adequate knowledge of rules and regulations framed by the government. Okay, because they have to work as per the law. For example, Supreme Court issuing orders to seal unauthorized shops and constructions. If the court will pass the orders to seal the unauthorized shop or construction, then definitely they will have to obey the rules. Mean these business organization, then they cannot go against the law which are passed by the court. okay, which are the judgments which are passed by the court, means they have to obey the judgments of the court. Second is law ensuring green dot for every vegetarian eatable every vegetarian eatable product and red dot for non-vegetarian products. Okay, right? As you can see, in many products the symbols are made green dot for vegetarian eatable products, and non-vegetarian products, in the non-vegetarian product there is red dot. So the business whosoever is manufacturing the vegetarian or non-vegetarian products, they have to make this symbol on their wrapper of the product, okay, because it is what it is guided, because these are the judgments which are passed by the law. They have to follow all these judgments. So in this way, because of the changing situation, or because of the change in the law or the legal environment, the business house also have to change their policies according to the legal environment. Okay, that is why it is said that the business house should have proper knowledge about the rules and regulations which are framed by the government, because they have to go as per, because they have to work as per the rules and regulations of the government only, because they have to obey the law of the courts. These were the 5 environment, or these were the 5 dimensions which affect the business houses. These were the social environment, technological environment, economic environment, political environment, and legal environment. Okay, these are the environment, or these are the these all environment contains different factors and the forces which have influenced the business houses. Now, coming to the next topic, that is concept of demonetization. You all very well, like you all might be knowing this concept very well, demonetization. Okay, let us understand this. Demonetization is the act of removing a currency unit of its status as a legal tender. Okay, rupees 1000 and 500 denomination notes were demonetized on November 8, 2016. As when we talk about India, in the latest scenario, the demonetization took place when it took place on November 8, 2016. In that, rupees 1000 and 500 denomination notes were demonetized. It means that it was no longer a legal tender, means it was no longer supplied in the economy, it was no longer used. Okay, so the concept of demonetization says that the main motive of demonetization was for what? The main motive of demonetization was to remove the what? Black money, to remove the, to work against the black money. Okay, so demonetization was the concept which was introduced by the government on November 8, 2016, in which rupees 1000 and 500 denomination notes were demonetized, means they were no longer their legal tender. Okay, now coming to the features of demonetization, let us understand the features of demonetization. Now, before that, see, the main aim of demonetization was what? The main aim of demonetization was to curb corruption and check on the use of notes for illegal activities, and especially the accumulation of black money. Okay, due to all these reasons, the demonetization was done. Okay, now, what are the main features of the demonetization? Let us see. The main features are, first is, it is viewed as a tax administration measure. What do you mean by tax administration measure? Due to demonetization, people had to declare their cash holding to get it exchanged from bank. Okay, because it was very necessary for that time, because they have to, like, they have to show up, or they have to declare their cash holding, how much cash they hold, because they have to get it exchanged from the bank. So those having black money had to declare their unaccounted wealth, means the person, those who have the black money, generally for exchanging the money they have to declare how much cash they hold, and for that condition when they declare they have to pay taxes at penalty on that black money. Now coming to the next point, it had it has indicated that tax evasion will no longer be tolerated. Means the people used to avoid tax, the people used to like evade tax. They generally, many business houses don't pay taxes by some illegal means. Okay, so it was indicated that tax evasion will no longer be tolerated. Means if they will evade tax, then it will no longer be tolerated. Okay, because they will be charged penalty. Now the third is, it led to channelizing savings into the formal financial system. Channelizing the savings, what does that mean? See, demonetization led to tax administration. Okay, due to which the all the money which was in the hands of the people, they have to exchange those money in the bank, and in that case only they, the person who have the black money, they have to declare their illegal account and they have to pay penalties. And the government also said that they will not tolerate tax evasion. Okay, it means the people, like the business houses or people, have to pay their taxes. Okay, so in this way what will happen, all the savings of the people, or all the savings, or means all the money, it will be very easy for them to channelize all those savings into formal financial system, to put all the savings into proper financial system. See, as much of the cash deposited by the people for exchange will be offered to people for loan under new schemes, because generally the banks does what, the banks takes the what, deposition from the people generally deposit their money in the bank. Why is it necessary to deposit the money through the legal means? Because with the help of those money only the banks gives the loans to the people. So that is why it was very much necessary to do that, because it helped them to channelize the saving into the formal financial system. Okay, we need to channelize all the savings, whatever the savings or whatever the depositions are there, it has to be done with the proper, in the proper financial system, so that it will be offered to the people for, like it will be helpful for the bank when they will offer the people for loan. Now coming to the fourth point, that is, it aims to create a less cash or cash light economy. It's very easy. Okay, the main motive of demonetization was to become a to make a cashless economy. Okay, it means that channelizing more saving through the formal financial system and improving tax compliance. Okay, it means that although there was like many argument against the like this digital transactions, but the main motive was to make a cashless economy. Okay, so these are the features of demonetization. Okay, so what is the meaning of demonetization generally, and what was the reason for demonetization? Demonetization means it is an act of removing the currency unit. It means a certain currency unit were removed as a legal tender. Rupees 1000 and 500 denomination notes were demonetized on November 8, 2016. And what was the main aim of demonetization? The main aim of demonetization was to curb corruption and to check on the use of notes for illegal activities, means generally the black money. Now the main features of demonetization of money was, the main features was tax administration tax administration measure, tax evasion will not be tolerated, channelizing the savings in the formal system, means channelizing all the savings in the banks, and making a cashless economy. Now moving to the next topic, that is new policy or new economic policy 1991. The first point is, see, the main objective of new industrial policy was to promote liberalization, privatization and globalization. Means new economic policy was introduced, new policy was made, economic policy, in 1991, and the main reason or the main motive behind making this policy was to promote liberalization, privatization and globalization. Let us understand all these terms in detail. First is liberalization. Liberal, what do you mean by the word liberalization, or in the simple word we can understand liberal? What do you mean by liberal? Liberal means freedom. Okay, it means freeing of Indian industry from all necessary government controls and restrictions, abolishing licensing requirements, freedom in deciding the scale of business, removals of restrictions on movement of goods and service, reduction in tax rate, freedom in fixing prices, making it easier to attract foreign investment. What was the main motive of liberalization? See, liberal means to make free. Okay, so the government made what? The government abolished the licensing system. What does, like, what early, in earlier time, what used to happen before the new economic policy 1991, there were there was licensing system, means there was no free movement of the goods and services from one place to another, and there was there was the charge of licensing system. Okay, and liberalization policy, when it came, it, like, the main motive of liberalization policy was to free the Indian industry from all the controls or all unnecessary controls of the government. Okay, like what all the control, all the controls were relieved. Freedom in deciding the scale of business, means the business are free to decide the scale of business, whether they are going to operate in large scale, means large size, or whether they are going to operate in small size. They have the freedom to choose that. Removal of restriction on movement of goods and services. Previously there was the restriction in movement of the goods and services. Okay, but now those restrictions are removed. Reduction in tax rate. Okay, the tax rate has been reduced. Freedom in fixing prices, means the business houses can fix up the price according to the cost as per their own wish. There is no, like, control over the there is no control of the government in this. Making it easier to attract foreign investment, means the companies or the outsiders, okay, outside the India, the companies or the business houses, they were allowed to invest in the Indian market. Foreign investment was introduced. So liberalization policy was the policy which means freeing of Indian industry from unnecessary government controls, means all the licensing systems or all the restrictions which were made by the government was abolished, was removed. Now coming to the next point, that is privatization. Privatization, as we have already studied in 11th also, changing role of public sector. In that, what happened, see, I'll explain you very nicely. Generally in public sector, previously, before the new economic policy was introduced, the public sector was making laws, and those laws has to be compensated by whom? The government, because the loss of the all the public units, or the, okay, all the industries, all the business houses was in the public hand, means all, not in the public hand, means it was completely to the in the hands of public sector. Okay, it was maintained, or it was controlled, managed by the government. Okay, it was a public sector unit. So in that condition, all the units or the public units were making losses. Okay, and those losses, because those units are managed and controlled by government, so all the losses has to be borne by the government. But due to this, the government was facing so much of problem, because they have to, what, they have to pay the loans and they have to compensate the losses. Okay, so due to that, what they decided, to do privatization of the privatization of some sectors. Now let us understand what does privatization means. Giving greater role to private sector in the nation building process and reduce role of public sector. It means that the public sector which were going under losses, or which were not performing good, so government decided to close all those public sectors and give those sectors in the hand of private. Okay, give those public sector in the hands of private sector. Now, next was disinvestment in many public sector undertaking, which would result in converting public sector undertakings to private sector. Means disinvestment means what? Disinvestment of shares. Disinvestment means generally the selling the shares of public company. Okay, means the public company which were not doing good or which were suffering from losses, then all the shares of those public companies were sold out, and the company was completely winded. Okay, it was completely shut. Then due to this investment of public sector, what happens? They converted the public sector into private sector. So this was the main motive of privatization, means giving the greater role to public sector than the public sector. Means the public sector who were not performing well, those those public sector's role were changed and more importance was given to the private sector. Now the third point is globalization. Globalization means integration of various economies of the world. Integration, okay, means to integrate, to bring together, to join all the various economies of the world, leading to the emergence of cohesive global economy. The measures taken by the government include trade liberalization, which it includes import liberalization, export promotion, etc. What do you mean by globalization? Globalization means integration of various economies of the world. It means that all the economies, means previously what used to happen before the new economic policy, there was no, like, the globalization was not that much promoted. Means the people of India, for example, the people of India, like the businessmen of the India, were not allowed to go outside, or it was not like they used to go outside and settle their business there, or the foreign business houses were not allowed to come India and invest in the Indian market and establish the business here. But due to globalization, all these were what? All the trade facility, trade means buying and the selling of the goods, was made liberal. Okay, as the trade liberalization happened, importing liberalization, export promotion means people, like, they can easily export their goods, and there was also liberalization, or there was also freedom to import the goods from the foreign countries. There was also the liberalization or the freedom of foreign investment, means the people of the like the business houses or the foreign business houses can easily invest in the Indian market, and they can easily set up their business in Indian market, or the from India the people can go out and set up their business there. So globalization took place. It means it integrated, it brought together all the economies of the world. Okay, and the trade liberalization happened, means it was completely, there was the process of trade, that buying and selling of the goods, import and export facilities, all these facilities were liberalized. So these are the three policies, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. These are the three policies which were actually created in the new economic policy 1991. So the main motive of the new economic policy 1991 was to promote trade through what? Through liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, through all these factors, the main motive was to promote the trade. Now, see, we will revise once again very quickly. Liberalization means there was removal of restrictions, licensing, etc., and simple procedures were adopted for the transfer of goods. There was reduction in tax, and there was more freedom in Indian industry. Coming to the privatization, privatization means increasing participation of private sectors, reducing number of industries and sectors reserved for public sector, and the sales of shares of public sector to the private sector. Means all the shares of the public sector were sold to private sector who were not performing well. Globalization means integration of different countries of the world, bringing together all their economic together, means easy entry of foreign companies. Okay, the foreign companies were allowed to come and settle their market, there was easy entry. So these were the main objective of the new economic policy 1991 in order to develop the trade industry. Okay, that was liberalization, privatization and globalization.